What's going on? Thank you for tuning in to the Stimulus podcast once again. This is episode 4. We are in this thing. 4 episodes strong. We made it. We got somebody that we didn't have last week here. Mr. Vision. Mr. Vision, go ahead and introduce yourself and we're gonna talk about where you were last week.
Hey, what's good, people? It's RCNI Vision VYSON Life Site. Yeah, man. Yesterday, I would say yesterday, not yesterday, but last week. Yeah, things got a little hairy for me. And I wasn't able to make it, but I'm here now. I got time today.
Right, right. Okay,
Yesterday,
you
I
you
ain't
here
had
now.
time.
And I'm Deron Shields, aka Blue Skittles, as you can see if y'all watching on the video version on YouTube. I don't know if I did I say I never explained that nickname. I guess maybe I can explain that for real
No,
quick and then we
you
can get
gotta,
into our
you gotta explain it.
Blue Skittles. So I as a kid, I liked candy like any other kid, and I particularly liked blue Skittles or like the tropical Skittles that came in the blue pack of Skittles. And we lived in a duplex at the time when I was like probably up until like I was like out of college. Like it was probably like 20. We lived in the same house till I was like 23, 20, no, really like 25 because I moved out. But anyway, as a kid, we grew up in this duplex, and we had a neighbor or whatever, and we was cool with her, and she knew that I liked like when she would go to the store, she would act like y'all want something from the store, and if she asked me, I'd be like, can I get some Skittles? And I'd be like specifically wanting the blue pack, like, and eventually she knew that that's what I liked. So she was like, she would joke around and be like, calling me Blue Skittles, like, oh, hey, Blue Skittles, like, kind of just like jokingly. And I just thought like one day randomly I'm gonna use that like 'cause I remember that, so I'm like it's actually a name that got given to me, so I didn't make it up. Um, but yeah, that's where Blue Skittles come from. But like I said, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Stimulus podcast. I've been working on my hosting and stuff and my talking. I talk kind of fast sometimes, especially when I'm not really thinking about it. So I want to like make sure I'm speaking really clearly now and enunciating my words.
Pronunciation.
Enunciating my words. Enunciation is key. But we're gonna start off with a little bit of a lighter thing. I thought about like we usually play games at the end, and we probably will also in this one. But we want to start off with a little bit of icebreaker. So once again, thank you. See, I'm messing up right there. Thank you, thank you. Let me point at the camera. Thank you for tuning in if you're watching, and thank you also if you're listening on audio only. But we're gonna start off with a little bit of a game of would you rather. And the one we chose right before we started recording, the episode is: would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak? Me, I felt like I definitely would easily choose speak. Like as I think about, like I had to think about it for like 5 seconds, and I'm like, okay, speak is easily the best choice because like if I can't speak, then I can do sign language. I'll have to learn sign language, but that wouldn't be easy. But that I could still communicate. But if I can't, what if they read? If I can't read, the whole world is confusing. Like where is like what is that? What does that mean? Like what's the news today? Like I can't read. So what would you say?
I had to initially that was my answer, and I had to renege because I thought about it a little
It
deeper.
was
I
what?
was like, okay, I love to sing. I do music, so that would mean that for me that would be like I love listening to music, but I love making it just as much. So like I would have to keep my voice, and like as far as reading, I got to thinking about it because I'm like, dang, like I thought the same thing. It probably would be confusing out there, but it didn't say that you couldn't like learn, like you know what I'm saying, like I can still like know like if a stop sign, you know what I'm saying, it's the big red sign. I mean, I stop. You know what I'm saying. I still can
Yeah,
learn
it's like being a
certain
kid
things,
again.
and if I wanted to read a book, like because my main thing was like, dang, I can't not read because I need to know, like I need that knowledge. But I'm like,
Right.
they got audiobooks, so like really just about every book that you can find is an audiobook, and you probably could make it an audiobook, have somebody read it. So I would have
And
to
I'm
choose
assuming that
to read,
you,
to never read again.
and you would keep your ability to speak.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I would. Oh, dang! So you the opposite of what I said. So I don't know. I mean, I guess because like you, if you can't read, I'm assuming you can't write.
No, they ain't. You ain't say that.
But I mean, just like logically, I'm thinking like logically, if I can't read, how can I write anything? If I
Well, I
if I
mean,
if I can write
you still
if I
probably
can write a cohesive sentence.
you probably could write, but you probably wouldn't be able to like. You know how like broken English, like people be read like okay instead of like four is four. You know what I'm saying, and shit like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It would be a whole bunch of like kind of like slang term, like you
hella
said, broken English.
BRBs and
Yeah, emoji talk.
hmm at least that's what I would
Um,
think. But I mean, that is a crazy one though.
because yeah, I think if I couldn't speak, like I could do sign language. I do like. I mean, of course, I like to talk now. We got a podcast. I'm getting really good at talking a lot. But if I couldn't talk, I'm thinking like I don't talk that much outside of this anyway. But like I said, I think since I could communicate with sign language, I feel like I would choose to not be able to speak because if I couldn't read, like I said, logically I'm thinking like, well, like you said, like you probably be broken English, but I feel like if I can't like write a cohesive sentence or I can't read a cohesive like a sentence, how can I write one? Um,
Right.
maybe it would just be like kind of illiterate sounding, like you said, like kind of just broken English. But anyway, well, that's it. That's the would you rather. What would y'all do? Comment in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube. What you would pick out of losing the ability to speak or losing the ability to read.
That's a
Now
good
we want to go into
question.
our. Go ahead.
No, I was
Go
just saying
ahead,
that's
Jay.
a good question. Like that's like it's kind of hard to really pick. Like you said, the writing thing. Like I mean, because then too, like, would you be able to read like things like BRB and stuff like that? Would you even know what letters were?
All right. So just the update. We want to do a coronavirus update. The date today is what May 24th.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a Rona update. The numbers have been going up still. I think it's starting to kind of slow down a little bit as far as like the new cases and the deaths and stuff. I'm gonna share my screen here
You
for
sure
the
about that?
video. Are they not going? Are they going? Are they still like
No,
going
I
steady or going
mean
up?
they saying they're going down, but then I mean, how can we really be sure though? Because they covering stuff up and they you know forging
True.
numbers and whatnot stuff like that. So it's like, how do we even really know, man?
Yeah, it's hard to trust anything right now.
Yeah.
I guess like thinking about it like that, like, that's true. Like Georgia did. It was an article that came out that basically said that Georgia, it was a CNN article, I believe, that Georgia was kind of going in and manipulating their numbers to make it seem like it had, their curve was flattening or whatever. But they really were just changing the dates of the numbers, like changing like, oh, so like March 3rd we had this many, and then they jump over to like whatever month, and it was flipping them around to make it look like it was a downward curve, but it really wasn't. And then I also like May 1st when Georgia reopened originally, I heard that like I saw an article, CNN article once again, I think that said that they saw like over 1,000 new cases in 24 hours after they reopened.
And
So
that's
I think
crazy.
like
Yeah. Stay home. It's a lot of people coming from out of state going to Georgia. I know it's just a lot of people here that was migrating to Georgia or like going there, and it's like, man, it's really not even ready for people to be out. We're not ready to be out in the world. I don't feel like yet.
and we
I
so
feel like
stupid
without
like
without a sufficient vaccine for what I'm saying, the virus or some type of way, sure way to combat it. Like I feel like the only way to really be safe is to stay in the house. Like of course you don't have to be like crippled by it. Like what I'm saying, you can get out and do things, but as far as just going
right.
places to gather, I think it's really time off for that.
Yeah, I mean, and we like I said I think we so stupid like as just like probably as Americans we just so stupid and entitled and spoiled
Yeah, I'm
that
about to
it's
say
like
spoiled and entitled.
we won't accept anything other than what we actually want. So like if it's anything that goes against what we originally planned or wanted, we won't go for it. We're gonna resist. And it's like, come on, it's not time to like be, I don't know, like be showing resistance. It's like we trying to save everybody, and you
Right.
included. So like, come on, chill out, man. But people, the thing is though, now in Michigan, it's starting to warm up. It's 70 degrees, kind of on the regular now. Now people got their skin showing. They want to get outside. They want to be at the park, and I'm like, just because it warmed up, that don't mean that this is over with. Nobody said it was over. Like it's just like it's almost like some kind of subconscious response to warm weather. We got to get out. We got to do all the summer stuff now. Like we feel like
Right.
we're owed a summer. We're owed that summer, and we're not. Like nothing is promised. No day is promised. So, but I feel people like act like they are owed this summer. They're owed a vacation or whatever it may be. And you're not. You're not. I mean, stop being stupid. You need to you need to just come on.
You're
Stop being
not.
stupid. You know, it's okay. Everybody's stupid sometimes.
Yeah, I
And
saw
for different, very you said what?
no, I was saying I saw the other day somebody firing fireworks outside, and I'm like, nigga, it's not even June yet. But then I was like,
Right.
go ahead. I was like, do your thing. I'm like, because we've been cooped up in the house. I'm like, I feel you. If you want to, you know what I'm saying, do some fireworks, go ahead, man. Because it's just like, I get that aspect. Like, I get wanting to do things like getting outside in your yard and maybe doing something or having like a small gathering at your house. I understand those type of things, but
Six
just
minutes.
you should, you know what I'm saying, definitely take precautionary measures to make sure that you and not only you but your company is safe and you know what I'm saying secure. So that way like we can control the virus. I feel like if a lot of people just use common sense, you know what I'm saying, and be rational, like I feel like we'll be straight. I feel like it's the people that's not really making it easy on us as far as like cases and numbers and statistics go.
Yeah. Um but yeah, I do want to go into these numbers real quick. Like I said, we are getting very close to that 100,000 death mark, unfortunately. If you're
Where
watching
should
this,
we
I'm
get now?
circling it. Uh
I can't
right
see.
now we're at 97,477.
Okay, dang, so it is right on that threshold.
So we only like what? We less than 3,000. We about 2,500 away.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pretty we'll hit that number probably pretty soon, unfortunately. Um but there is, the all the number. I don't want to get into like fear mongering and just like
Yeah,
a
don't
bunch of
do that.
negative news and stuff.
Yeah,
Um so I want to talk about these numbers kind of objectively and kind of just like, completely unemotionally or whatever. So confirmed cases, it says we have 5.31 million, and this is Google's stats that are updated it says updated less than 30 minutes ago. So confirmed cases worldwide is 5.3 million, 5.31 million. The recoveries worldwide are 2.11 million, or 2.11 million, and then the deaths are worldwide. Deaths are 342,000, which is nuts. Like just that many people. Like there's no stadium that can fit 342,000 people, and that's how many people have died in the whole world. Um, so it's like you gotta. It's like on both sides. Like you gotta be aware of like the real like negative gravity of the whole virus thing, like all the deaths and all that stuff, because that's real. People really have died. And then you also got to be keep it balanced with like the positive side, like a lot more people that then die recover.
yeah,
um but it's like it's hard to death is always going to be the bigger one out of death and recovery, because recovery is I think the thing is, the reason that is like psychologically is because recovery is just like a continuation, like, oh, I get to continue my life. But
right.
death is final. Death is it. Like there's no recovery from death. So I think that's why it gets most of the focus in the media. But like we were just talking about the whole article that we saw on TMZ. Well, and I realized that it was an old article. It was basically saying there was a 24-hour lockdown for 3 weeks in San Francisco, and I'm like, I haven't heard of this. Even with it being from March, it was like March 16th. I'm like, I still haven't heard this at all. Like even when
Right.
back then I didn't hear this. Um,
They was
but
doing
there's a
like
lot
the
of like,
UFOs. They was trying to they was trying to
yeah,
sneak in there. Just slide it in
I
there.
think they're doing a lot of that. I think they're doing a whole lot. I think they're doing because I did the BBC just posted on their site. They said like CIA just released like over like 150 or something, like some crazy number of classified documents. They declassified them. Like they doing all that right now.
That's crazy. Why? Like, I wonder why do they? Why is that? Like, are they trying to prepare us for something? Like, they trying to be like, okay, here, here, here. I know y'all know certain stuff exists, but here's a little more detail. Here,
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying?
the the headlines that I see and read nowadays are crazy. Like all of them are crazy. Like I saw one
Right.
that said like the U.S. government admits that it can control the weather. Like what? And I kind of believe it because everything is crazy nowadays.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I
every
believe.
headline is nuts.
Yeah.
But like I said, it is important to stay kind of balanced on the whole coronavirus issue. It's definitely a serious issue, but it definitely has some bright side to it. A lot more people are recovering. Eventually, we're gonna have a vaccine. But I think people are like the average person that's like not willing to stay home, stay safe, or whatever. I think they are the real like kind of Achilles heel. Like they really messing it up. Like if all we have to do is like follow these guidelines, I feel like we'll be straight. Like if y'all wasn't trying to be so, you know, so like self-centered and entitled, we probably would be in a lot better position a lot sooner.
That's true. I definitely believe that. Like I said, I feel like it's the people that's making it harder. I mean, the government is they have their share in it, especially in like the
Yeah,
exposure or whatnot. Like, cause we could have been shut down a while back, but that's neither here or there. I feel like the people, and I get this sense of like, okay, you, especially here, like you've been cooped up for the whole winter, and like it's getting hot now. So like now you want to get outside. At first you didn't mind it because like the weather
right,
was still kind of boo boo, but then now it's like okay, it's getting warm outside. Like I'm getting hot in my house. You know, I gotta wear shorts and turn the AC on for a minute. So like I want to go
right.
outside. I want to hit the beach. I want to do this. I want to do that. My birthday's in the summer, so I definitely know how people feel. But at the same time, I would rather be safe in the house and just like do something. You know, in the house, I have a small gathering or something like that in my crib, versus going out and doing something in the world because it's still kind of scary out there.
Yeah, like I've been saying that like this warm weather is giving people amnesia. Like
It
they just
is.
forgetting that is really like the weather has nothing to do with this. Like they say that like it may go kind of dormant in warm weather, but they still are predicting a second wave. Like people are just like they feel like if I feel like I should be able to go outside, I should be able to go outside. And that's not the reality right now. 2020 has been something else. Like this is
Well,
going down in history books as like like a specific year where like something that never happened before, well, that hadn't happened in a very long time since 1918, really
yeah,
happened again in 2020, like right at the beginning of 2020.
yeah. Like to bring this boy in, it's like if you ever been playing with somebody and like you run somewhere and close the door, and then it's like you forget about or like you know you feel like you safe, and then you come out the door and then they just smack you. You know,
Yeah,
it's like that's how
it's just waiting
Rona
for you.
is. Rona waiting outside. Like yeah, okay,
Like like that Jamie Foxx skit.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm just not gonna be one of those ones that get caught up in that second wave. Like I pray that I stay safe and my family stay safe. And just everybody in general, everybody who has the sense enough to you know listen to their gut and be like, okay, I'm gonna stay inside. Really,
Right.
I wish that on nobody though because that's something like no other. And then not to have a
Yeah.
cure for it, so you don't know like if it's gonna take you out. Like it's been taken out like young, old, in between, like so you never really know.
Right. Yeah, and I think like some of the youngest people that have died have been like real young, like
Yeah,
14, I think,
yeah. So
and
that's
babies, I
crazy.
think even.
Yeah,
So it's no respecter of person or status or race or whatever. Like no matter what you heard, it's like it's everybody is somewhat vulnerable depending upon your immune system. But not even that, because people that have been healthy that should have great immune systems have still gotten real sick from it. And I'm sure probably have died also, but definitely gotten sick. So everybody just and then okay, so me and my girlfriend was like thinking about going to a drive-in because like but I was confused because Flint has a curfew at 9 o'clock. That's what I've been hearing, and they've been extended and stuff like that. But I'm like seeing posts about like, oh, US 23 drive-in is open, but turns out that the drive-in is in Burton and not Flint, Michigan. So it was not under that curfew. So I'm like, y'all, and then y'all giving people a reason to be out and stuff. Um, I mean, a drive-in is like you in your own car. So and they also are like I think doing like a limited like capacity, not the normal capacity and stuff.
Okay.
They give out masks and stuff like that, but it almost seemed like a trap because if you shut down Flint after 9 o'clock, but you got the neighboring cities like open with like
Right.
stuff to do like at 9 o'clock when we spoke like when nothing is happening in Flint, we gonna go over to Burton. You gonna watch our movie at 9:15. It's a double feature, so we'll be back at like 2 o'clock in the morning, coming right back to Flint for y'all to give us these tickets that y'all talk. They can't be giving people tickets though, because I feel like nobody seems to even care about the curfew.
They don't, man. People be out like even in Flint. Like I mean, in Burton is like it's so close to Flint. I consider it Flint. Like it's the south side, basically. Like
Right,
you know, it's like you can cross over into Burton not without even realizing that you in Burton like that. So I definitely feel like if they're gonna put us on curfew, then the neighboring city should be on curfew too. It wouldn't make sense to like be in that close of a proximity where like I can literally just cross the street and I'm in your city, but y'all got a
right.
curfew and or we have a curfew and y'all don't. It don't make sense.
I was just talking about this the other day. Like, it's so many different things that the government has done, like whether federal or like local. But like federal, like the stimulus check thing, they gave us stimulus money, and then they started opening up like places that were closed. So
Hmm.
it's like he's asking us to go out and like kind of be the guinea pigs in that kind of a setup.
Pretty
It
much.
don't take a genius to understand that got money, and then now they got places to shop. They're gonna go. And then especially after not having that, not being able to shop in these stores, and then they all of a sudden are open, and I got $1,200 more than I had.
Hmm.
Same thing with the curfew. Like, why have a curfew for us but not the neighboring cities or like township ever? And then because we're going to just go across the whatever border, street or whatever, depending on how close you live, and we're gonna be out over there, and then we're just gonna come right back into this area that's supposed to be on curfew. It just seemed like it's setups. I mean, I don't like to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it don't make sense to me.
You ain't even have to be a conspiracy theorist to see that that's like a setup. I mean, it's going in that order because, like you said, you give people money, but in order for them to spend it somewhere, they have to have somewhere to spend it. So of course, yeah, we're
Right,
gonna open up for a little minute. We're gonna get y'all juiced up. We're gonna get y'all, y'all little benefits, and you know what I'm saying, and these stimulus checks, and then we're gonna send y'all out there and see what that Rona hitting like, and then get a little money in the process. And if the Rona's still hitting hard, then we probably gonna ease up, keep y'all in for a minute. But if the Rona's loosening up, then we probably gonna open up some more stuff, phase two it, send y'all a little
right.
more money, and then that's what I think is going on. But it's definitely like clear to see that they testing stuff out and they using us as guinea pigs to test the waters, see what's up, see how that Rona
Yeah.
hitting. If it's hitting, all right, then we know we need to go back to the drawing board.
And then we were planning on having like a vacation in June. Like it was like the fam jam or whatever. Some of the ones that we had on episode 2, our family, sisters and cousins and all that. We were supposed to be going to
Dang.
Tennessee. Right. Second, and the first one was dope. We went to Louisiana. It was like a really dope time. Like it was definitely right on time when it came as far as like needing all of us needing a break and stuff. It was a really nice experience that we had in Louisiana. So we were trying to do that again this year in Tennessee. But of course, 2020 had different plans. So I think we've canceled that at this point. I'm assuming. It's throwing everything off, honestly. like anybody that had anything planned for 2020, and a lot of people probably did because of the like it's such a like a like a beginning type of year. 2020 is the beginning of a decade. It's like a even 20, like it's like symmetrical numbers.
Mm,
It just seemed like a time to start something. And I'm a photographer, so I got a wedding that I'm supposed to be shooting in September. I I haven't heard from her as the whether that should be is going to get changed, or but that's in September, so like it's not, it'll be almost in June, so that's only a few months away, honestly. So
right.
and it's not like I've heard a lot of people will be like, it was one dude in particular on TV. I can't remember who he was, but he was like being real frank about like, he was like, look, we're not gonna be back to normal until like definitely not until at least 2021. Like y'all might as well get that straight. Like don't think that it's gonna be back to normal in 2020. This year is gone. It's like this year is done with as far as normalcy and all that. Like I'm like, dang, I've never heard nobody be that straight up about it,
Yeah, but
because
I can
everybody's
definitely see that though. Like, I mean, it definitely feels like it's not getting any better. And then the way that they are handling it, like how we just were talking about, them testing stuff out before it's really ready. I feel like that's going to contribute to us not being able to see any of this year being normal. Like, no normalcy
yeah.
in this year. Like, it's crazy. But I definitely don't feel like it's going to be straight until next year. Probably like March.
I was thinking about this because like there's a lot of things that I feel like naturally or like this, inevitably they won't be the same anymore, given all this happening. Things like people shaking hands and dapping up and hugging and especially strangers. I feel like that's not gonna happen no more. Like people, I think people are seeing how easily germs are transferred, and they like, no, I'm good. I'm good on your germs. I got my own. I'm good on yours. But like, what other things do we think are going to like never be the same? What other things can you think of like on the spot like that can never be the same? I feel like movie theaters
Yeah.
may never be the same.
Movie theaters, amusement parks.
Right?
Cause I like every year we kind of take a trip to like an amusement park or something like that, or do something like that. And me and Summer was talking about going to like Cedar Point or whatnot like that. Can't even do that. I don't think that will ever be the same because like before, like amusement parks hold like that like certain type of vibe, like where like you just friendly. Like if it's like
Yeah, yeah,
you can't sit with your your party, like you can sit next to somebody you met in line or whatnot like that, and you know what I'm saying, it'd be cool. But now it's gonna
yeah.
be kind of hard. Like, no, I'll stick to mine. Y'all stick to y'all's. I don't even want to be that close to y'all in the line. Don't talk to me while you in the line. Like,
It's making us way more like secluded as human beings. Like we just like not really having it. Like no, I don't want to talk. Like back up a little bit.
mm,
Like is everything is real standoffish nowadays, and I think it's gonna last with some, especially with some people, because some people already were germaphobes, and I think this is like their
mm,
worst nightmare coming to life.
true. And a lot of people were antisocial before this, and I feel like if anything, it's just gonna make them even more of a recluse. Like niggas, people are not gonna um, they're not gonna open up to strangers. So like the love life, like dating and stuff like that, that's probably never gonna be the same. I feel like.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's definitely it's affecting everything. Like, that's why it's so relevant because like everything is affected, like top to bottom, almost everything. But so there's some more things like that would never be the same. I feel like I mean the malls will never probably be like anything where like a lot of people gather. It's probably going to be like a lot different now. It
music
might go back
festivals, like yeah, like sporting events, all that.
swimming pools and stuff like anything with
Oh
public
yeah,
buses, like
church.
yeah, church, yeah. Like a lot of churches are just streaming right now.
Yeah,
They start.
church. If you
I
be
think.
elbow to elbow in that boy, knees to knees,
And can we talk about Donald Clump? He wants all the churches to
what
open up.
what you call him?
The-
Clump.
yeah, Donald Clump. I just thought about that. I just made that name up for him. I'm gonna start calling him that,
When you
Mr.
said
Clump.
that, I envisioned that picture of that steak that's going around looking like him. Like it's like a piece of meat, and it's like the fat is like his head, and then like
Yeah, I think I seen that. Like the raw. It's like was it raw?
yeah,
Yeah, I think I seen that. Yeah. But yeah, Mr. Clump, Donald Clump, he's asking, he's saying like he want all the churches, all across America, the houses of worship to open up, and and he was saying like if the governors don't want to do it, I'll override the governors. I'm like, and then people, the analysts and the actual like political experts were like, you don't have power to do that. You can't override us, the governors.
What if nobody even goes to church anyway after
Like
he
even if
do
it's
it?
open.
Yeah, like then what? Like
Yeah, it's people gonna go. Like, the thing is, his fan base is gonna go, like, because like he's considered conservative, even though he's very like non. He do a lot of like non-Christian type stuff,
yeah, he
but
do.
he
That's
still
why I'm
somehow
saying that
identifies.
that didn't really strike me as like him being. He doesn't strike me as being really super religious or like into God like that, even spiritual.
You know what I think?
What do you
I
think?
think that I think that it's election season. I think that he wants to um appeal to certain people right now. This is a very important time for him. His reelection. I don't.
We
Now the
still
thing
have
is,
an election. Like
what
I
they
feel
talking
like
about
that
now
should.
doing like remote.
You said what?
They talking about now doing like remote voting, at least for certain things. And I don't know if it'll apply for the actual like presidential election, but I don't. I'm sure it won't be the same as normal. Like people just coming and going in the little cubicles and stuff, and it'll be a lot more masked and disinfected and stuff.
He gonna win then, if that's the case. Because I feel like if we doing remote voting, I mean there already are ways to like stuff the ballots. When we go to the polls or whatnot. But now, like if you're doing it from your home, you're doing it from like a computer most likely, or a smartphone. Like that's going to a database like in the system. Like you can even easily like just okay get a couple bots, couple thousand bots. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah,
so I don't
they
know.
already they pretty much like confirmed that there was collusion like or interference in the 2016 election. Like it's pretty much a fact. Like that Russia interfered in the outcome of it.
Man, it's been so many crooked things that have happened. Like and that's really what like made me not want to vote because I witnessed the whole Al Gore situation,
Hmm.
just everything like that. And not even I don't know, like I feel like people really genuinely liked Obama, but then I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe they padded his stats too because he was black. I can't really put
Hmm.
anything past anybody, even though it was good to see somebody of our color in there. But
Yeah. Um. Do you want to go into the black business topic off of that?
yeah, that's a good. I think that's a good segue.
Okay. So we're gonna switch to another slightly different topic, but still kind of related. We talked about people just kind of liking him because he's Barack Obama because he's black, and we had the conversation kind of over playing the game. Speaking of the game, follow us on Twitch at stimulus_gaming. We do gaming too. It's kind of just another subgenre of the whole stimulus thing. But anyway,
Getting it
a
in.
slightly right. I Loba Wick. I got that up right now on the YouTube page. Same YouTube page you're probably watching this on. So check out our gaming videos too. I'm gonna put them in the playlist so you can kind of watch those easily back to back if you want to. So, but Barack Obama, a lot of people voted for him because he was black, just because we had the first. It was like such an iconic moment to have the first black president. Like we knew that if that happened, it would be never, that would be a moment in history, and it was in 2008.
Damn.
So, but undoubtedly, with that being like with the first black president potentially, being a thing, there's undoubtedly some people had to vote solely because he was black.
True.
And last night, I think over the game, I was talking to Vision about the whole black thing. A while back, Issa Rae, a lot of people watch Insecure. She's the main character and she's the creator and I'm assuming director and all that of Insecure on I think HBO. And she was on like a red carpet and doing an interview, and it was like a award show, and the interviewer was like, what do you think is gonna happen tonight as far as the awards? And she was like, I'm rooting for everybody black. and that became like a viral statement, and people was putting it on shirts, and people was like, that was resounding with a lot of people, saying like yes, queen, everybody black, yeah, we need, it's about time that we got it's about time that we got somebody black up in the spotlight. It's our time now, everybody black need to be winning. Like, it was that kind of response. My hot take and my kind of unpopular opinion, I don't support, like, especially when it comes to business, I don't support black businesses solely because the owner is black or it's a black owned business. I support quality. Now, I would definitely, if there was quality and quality, so there's quality in the black community, as far as whatever I'm looking for, if it's clothes or whatever, and then also quality in the white stores. If it's even, then I'm gonna go with the black people because they do look like me, but it's even, the quality is even. I do it based on quality, not just color of your skin. Like, since when do we? And then I feel like people that do like blindly support just black businesses, no matter what, because like, a lot of black businesses, I'm just gonna call y'all out right now. A lot of black businesses have terrible customer service. They have terrible, like, what I'm saying, customer interaction sometimes. Not all, of course, but
Right.
there's some. There's definitely some. And if you want black support, if you want the people that look like you to support you, you gotta have, like, you can't like slack on the quality because we look like each other. Like, you still gotta treat me like you would treat anybody of any other race. So, like, I feel like the mindset of like, oh, support black business. You gotta support people that look like you doing stuff. And but if I go there and it's like, and it's run down and y'all being rude and taking too long, whatever, it's not gonna attract a second visit. But I also feel like that mindset kind of breeds, like, it doesn't breed excellence. We talk about black excellence in our culture so much, and that attitude of like, let me put the banner up here since we deep into it now. Um,
Mm.
since we want to like talk about black excellence so much, that mindset, I don't believe, and I can't see how it breeds excellence when you just like, well, just support me just because I'm black. Like, whether I'm good or not, it don't matter. Just support me, kind of give me the benefit of the doubt because I'm black and I look like you. Like, but if I'm a consumer and I'm buying a product, I want something that's going to be good. I want an experience that's going to be good, whether it's food, whatever. I want food that's going to be good, cooked right. Like, I want that from anybody, but I definitely want it from people that look like me. And I'm not gonna like go to you and get subpar quality just because you're black.
Right.
That's just, hey, that's just my gut, what I'm saying, perspective on that. I'm not gonna support you just because you're black. I'm gonna support you because I see either potential in what you're doing or I see the results of what you're doing and it's good and it's quality. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you got to be established in like 5-star restaurant or something before I go. But if I feel like you're doing it right, you're approaching it, with the right, approach and putting your best foot forward, then I'm like, okay, I can, even if it's not there yet, I'll support that. So it's not like I'm not against black business at all. Like, I have businesses and stuff, like, so I'm definitely not against, but I would rather you support me as a business owner because of my quality, not because I'm black. That's like a, cop out reason to support me. I want you to support me because I'm really good, because I'm really good at what I do, whatever it is. What do you think?
I mean, I support black because niggas is black. I ain't gonna hold you up. That's my initial support, because just because I want it, if I see somebody like me trying to start a business or do anything, professionally, I want to help out. Because I know some people may not have the resources or the knowledge, or even like the moxie to go and learn certain things in certain business, because
Yep.
business, like running a business, is hard, like just as far as like the physical
Yep.
labor of it, let alone like the legal things that you have to do. But I will support initially, just no matter what. Just if you're black, I want to see my people do good, and I see it as an investment. But if I see it as, what I'm saying, on my first initial, experience, if it's not up to par, like you said, if it's not quality, because I'm definitely into quality over like quantity, what I'm saying, mass production and things like that. I like things to be
Mm-hmm.
of quality. So if I see that it's not, like that, or the customer service is bad, like I get an attitude or whatnot like that, then I just won't spend any more of my black dollars there. But
Right.
y'all have my initial, I'm saying, support. So it's like, I'll support you if you are black, because just because I know there are not many of us out there owning businesses to begin with. But if I see that it's not right, like if I see, what I'm saying, if I didn't like my experience there, then I won't come back. Just as if I won't do it anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna, be played or feel like, I'm spending my money and it's not appreciated, or what I'm saying, you know.
Yeah.
So like I do
And like
support
even
black if they black. But they gotta be right for
yeah,
me to come back.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I have no problem with black businesses whatsoever. I'm a black person that has a business. Like, I understand, but like I feel like, I guess more specifically, what I should say, my perspective is like, if I feel like you're not even trying to do it good, like do whatever, like if I got a restaurant, if I feel like you're like just accepting some kind of like subpar, what I'm saying, like standard in your place, and it's ghetto, and you letting people shoot dice over there in the corner, like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
no, I'm not supporting that. I'm not supporting that. Like you black, I'm black, we both dark skinned, and I'm not supporting that. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care how much you look like me. You could be my doppelganger. I don't support stuff like that. Like, I'd rather go somewhere where I'm going to actually enjoy my experience. I'm going to have, what I'm saying, like good customer service or whatever the case may be with the business. And it's not going to be, what I'm saying, like subpar or ghetto or whatever. Like, same thing with franchises, like restaurants. Like, if you go to McDonald's, like, I mean, specifically, like some of the ones that's in Flint,
Mm.
notoriously, the one on Pasadena and Clio, that's kind of where I grew up at. That one, nowadays, I don't go there no more. I would specifically not go there because, like, every time they either mess it up or it takes forever. They don't even, like, when you pull up to the speaker, it's just like, hello. Like, what? I thought I was supposed to be saying hello. Like,
Hello.
like, where did I call you or something? This is a phone. Like, or they like, you can order. Like, that's all they'll say. They won't say nothing. You can order whenever you're ready. They'll say you can order. Like, I'm come like, come on. And then like a lot of these groups, like McDonald's groups in Detroit and stuff, like, protesting for $15 an hour. You're not gonna get $15 an hour with that kind of a, what I'm saying. But then on the other end, you could argue that they're not getting paid very much, so why would they be happy about the job? Or but still, you work in there, you don't have to work there.
I get that.
I mean,
Yeah,
you probably got to
they
make
got a
some
couple of
money.
my dollars, but they won't get any more though. Cause I don't like that McDonald's over
Yeah.
there. But yeah, so, I mean, like in situations like that, yeah, I've just because I've been in Flint and like what I'm saying, that was kind of my stumping grounds over on the north side, kind of in that area. Like I have spent money there, but like it's not been a lot. It's
Yeah.
definitely like I haven't been there in like I don't know, maybe like over about 10 years, maybe like since I was in high school. Like I think I stopped going there because I just didn't like the atmosphere anyway. Like it just seemed like a death trap over there, and then it's like it was too close to the strip, so it was a little hot for me. And then plus the customer service, but
I was saying, so you don't mess with McDonald's in general?
yeah, no, not anymore. I don't mess with McDonald's, but when I was back eating McDonald's, like I wasn't eating that one. Like I still ate McDonald's after high school. Like I think I stopped eating McDonald's um maybe when I was like 21 or so, and I hadn't eaten it really since I until I met Summer, because she was
Oh,
working
okay.
there. But like I only eat like certain stuff from there. Like I only will eat like maybe like the chicken salad or like the chicken sandwiches, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I kind of reduced like the definitely the amount and also like the different things I was willing to eat from there. So I only go there occasionally now, and I definitely don't go to the one on Pasadena and Clio. Like I said, if y'all know somebody that worked there, hey, what I'm saying, it is what it is. I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes, but I've had several, consistent bad experiences, being there with customer service and stuff. Like, I don't usually make a big deal of it when I'm there. I was just like decide not to come back. But like I said, that's the whole black business thing. Like, I want black to mean good. And I feel like by just blindly supporting anybody, I mean, and it's like it's a weird line to straddle because I think that you want, you want those that may not have the business savvy to like do it right and stuff. You want them to get better, and you want to maybe even educate them, inform them, or whatever. But so I think if there was like an eagerness to learn, a clear eagerness to like learn and get better, then that's different. I feel like I may be able to support that because there's that potential I was talking about.
Mm.
But if it's like you're good, like I like this model that I have here, the rundown model, like whatever it is, like then I'm like, okay, well I just don't want to come back because I don't want to be subject to that. Like I didn't come out to the restaurant to, you know what I'm saying, to do whatever it is that y'all got going on in here. So I don't mean to ruffle no feathers, but that's just I was just thinking about that. Like I've thought about that for a long time. I felt like that for a long time, but I guess I've never really like voiced it that like publicly. But yeah, and I stand by it. Like I think we should
As you
keep the
should.
standard. We should keep the standard high. Like be like, no, if you representing black wrong, then no, I don't support you. Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like if you really are becoming like a misrepresentation of our culture and like a bad, you know what I'm saying, like look to the rest of the other cultures that like because we definitely have the most influence as black people, but not on a business aspect. We got like entertainment influence. Like
Hmm.
why can't we have good business? Why can't we have good business practices? Like we should. I think we can change the narrative, but we got to keep that standard high. In my opinion, we got to keep that standard high to change like how people see a black-owned business. When they think black-owned business, like what do they think? Do they think, oh, that means that it's good, or that it's bad, or that I'm indifferent, whatever? Like we can change that narrative to be good if it's not already good, by keeping that standard high and like demanding that our people that look like us do business right.
We gotta share the knowledge too. I feel like, um, because a lot of people, a lot of black businesses that be successful, and just like it seems like black people in general, like if you're successful, you're not so willing to like share that game and pass that game down to other people. Seem like you
Yeah.
want to harbor it for yourself and be, stingy with it. But it's like if I win, I know that it's enough money. I'm not going to get money everywhere, especially like if you have a
Mm-hmm.
different mindset or a different pitch than me. Like you can get money that I couldn't get and that I wasn't even thinking about getting and probably not going to think about getting. So I feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
important for us, like if we do have knowledge and you see somebody else kind of doing the same thing that you're doing and maybe even making the same mistakes that you're making and kind of, following that same path, I feel like, okay, hey, let me, because my money's straight. So let me help you, you know what I'm saying, get your money up. And then maybe you'll do the same thing and then we could get somewhere else. But I feel like as long as we have that mentality of I got to get to the top and I can only be at the top. And then when I'm done being at the top, then maybe somebody that I know could get on the top spot. I feel like we have to be selfless sometimes, especially with our
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, instead of selfish.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I think that and I think what do you
Crabs in the
think the
bucket.
yeah, do you think what do you think of the black like version of that thing, that dynamic of like the OGs kind of like, passing down now. Do we do that as black people? Is that something that we do?
I mean, not that I really see. Like you'll have certain cases of it, and not saying that people don't give game to people because I've gotten a lot of game from the older generation. But I think that's because
Yeah.
I'm willing to sit down with some of the older people now. I feel like a lot of the younger people are not willing to sit down and kind of listen to elders and kind of soak up that wisdom that they may have. Because even though
Yeah.
somebody may have lived like a life that's not glamorous to you, it still meant something because they went through life. Like every experience is a lesson, I feel like, in life. So like old people have a lot of experience, so that means they have a lot of lessons. And like if they can help me from going through something, then yeah, I'm gonna talk to them. But I feel like it is certain cases where they do pass knowledge down. But I feel like now I feel like it's not really like in our generation. It's not really a lot of like I'm gonna give you this game. It's like more so I want to be the only one doing this, or I can only be the only one doing it at my level. And if you're
Yeah.
not in my circle, then I can't share with you. You know what I'm saying? I can't help you build, thing, or I can help you build, but it's gonna be at a fee. I'm gonna tax you. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Right.
we're not, and I feel like that's, if I can be real, I feel like that's how Caucasian people make it. You know what I'm saying? I know that there are some, less fortunate white people, or Caucasian people. I feel like, it's
Hmm.
people in our situation, in our, living quarters. Because I've grown up with white people that live in the hood and stuff like that. But I feel
Right.
like for the majority, as a race, I feel like they do look out for one another. They share knowledge, and that's how you see so many white business owners, and so in like
Hmm.
every avenue, like in every type of business. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of black people have off the wall interests too, and that they can make money off of and they can capitalize. But I feel like the people around them that are successful only want to like kind of maybe hold it over their head, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like giving them game to be like successful themselves. Like
Yeah,
that
they probably
crab in the
feel
bucket
like,
mentality. I feel like but I feel like that was something pushed on us. I think that's that's a whole deeper topic. But I feel like we
yeah,
do
because we've
have that
been,
crabs in the barrel mentality.
yeah. Whenever we get like super like into like like race and because like that the crabs in a bucket thing, like I think you kind of alluding to that it comes from like them kind of putting us in these like
Putting
impoverished
us in
situations.
buckets. Yeah,
Yeah, like like Jay Z had I think a bar saying like how do we get in the bucket to begin with? Like think about
exactly.
that. Like
So that's why I say it's
uh,
different. That's why I say, I mean, I understand it. I understand the psychology of it. But for me, it's like, okay, I understand it. So me understanding it, I'm conscious, I'm aware of it. So it's like, to me, it's easy to like not fall for that. Like, okay, I'm not, if I'm getting out the bucket, yeah, if you pulling me down, I'm gonna push you down. But once I get out that boy, and once I figure out a way, I'm having my hand out. I'm trying to reach for the next person because we need to
yeah.
get out of the bucket and to see what the rest of the world is like.
Yeah, and then unfortunately I think the effects of like being in that bucket is like some of the crabs don't even believe that there's like they don't even like believe that there's an outside of the bucket like to even witness
Mm-hmm.
like I'm in this bucket, this is what I know. Like there was a quote I think guess Harriet Tubman said like I freed 1,000 slaves, I would have freed 1,000 more if they only knew that they were slaves. It's like they don't even realize that this is slavery, like this is not right.
Right.
Like if they didn't even realize, if we don't realize that like we've been put here and this is like not, we've been put at a disadvantage kind of through history, then we'll think that this is what it's supposed to be. And it's not terrible, of course. Like we've come a long way from like real slavery days, but it's still racism and still like disproportionate numbers as far as like police shootings and hostility toward black people. It's still disproportionate. It's still heavy handed on the black people and light handed on the other people, especially white, because they make up the majority. But it is getting better because I think like white people, I think they project that like white people won't be, and anybody that's white that listens to this podcast, I have white friends. I work with white people
Me
all the
too.
time. I'm not racist at all. Neither one of us are. We just like the stuff we saying is straight up like facts. Like we
Yeah,
won't
you have to
like
be
I mean
blunt about stuff. Like you have to be, yeah, like you said, you have to have facts, and like it's not like that we, are being prejudiced when we speak. Like it's the truth. Like okay, we can't sit around and act like that people haven't been referring to Caucasian people as white people, and
mhm.
what I'm saying, us as black people, like like we have to get out of um that
It's
stigma
like
of certain words like are taboo. Like it's not
it,
taboo to say certain stuff. It's the intent behind it that makes it.
and it's like that is that like, oh, I don't see color type of mentality. It's like no,
Yeah,
there
it's like
you should see it. You should see that
you
I'm
should
black, you're
like, because
white.
if you don't see it, it's a problem. Yeah,
Yeah, like if you really think that we are the same, like no, we're not the same.
like,
Like and it's okay to acknowledge that. There's nothing wrong with it. It don't
it
make you
is.
racist. To like see color, it don't make you racist. Like I think people was just saying that because they, oh, I'm not racist. I don't even see color, man. Like
Yeah, it's like I don't want to offend nobody. It's like because people
it's
are
like you
so
can
offensive nowadays, man. I feel like people are too offensive.
offend it.
Yeah, I feel like they're they're on that defense about, and I feel like it's due to people being insecure about themselves and how they feel about themselves. So it's like
Yeah.
anything will set them off, super sensitive
Yeah.
about whatever and everything and identity and all of that. Like, everybody, like, we as a race of like humans, I feel like are going through an identity crisis. Like, a lot of people
Yeah.
have problems with like identifying who they are, like, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's a problem.
Real quick, I just want to jump in. If you are listening to this podcast and you would like us to, you know, be able to go higher with this and up the quality. We're talking about black business and stuff like that. We both black. This is a black podcast, primarily, I guess. If you want to help support us getting better, help support us be able to do more and upper quality. If you can donate financially, even if you don't listen, at Cash App with $ the stimulus podcast, all one word. If you want to donate $5, $10, or whatever, $1, 50 cent, whatever you feel fit, but anything is gonna help. We actually have had some support, but if you guys can continue to support us, continue to watch. And if you, like I said, once again, if you want to donate, if you're listening to this, it's $ the stimulus podcast on Cash App, and if you're watching, it's on the screen. But yeah, donate, man. If y'all think we're doing a good job or on the right track with this, and you want to see us do more, feel free to donate. It definitely is welcome, and it definitely will be put to good use, and all that. So definitely hit that up if you feel fit. Um, I guess next I want to just it's not really like a smooth segue, but I want to jump into Takashi 6ix9ine versus everybody. Um, Last episode we talked about a little bit about Takashi. Actually, I think it was the second episode. Yeah, second episode with the Fam Jam. We talked about
Yeah.
Takashi 6ix9ine and him getting out of jail. And at the time, he had just went live. He broke the Instagram live viewer record with 2 million viewers. He got on there talking about, yeah, I snitched, I ratted, yada yada. He told on a lot of people publicly, including Cardi B and some other people, because people were like, sleeping around with his baby mom. Um, they had kidnapped him. They had threatened his mother. So he was like, why should I be loyal to you? So long story short, he snitched on a lot of people, got a lot of, for time taken off of his sentence. And he's out. So since he's been out, he's been back to his normal antics, trolling, and he's
Cloud
now,
Demon.
you said, yeah, Cloud Demon, yeah, Cloud Demon. Um, but since he's gotten out, he sparked beef with Snoop Dogg, Meek Mill, YG, even I think Tom Hanks's son,
Billboard, Ariana Grande,
right? He
Justin Bieber.
Now he came out and he was saying that like basically Billboard is like a pay for play platform. You pay and you can get the number one, and it's about how much money you putting in, not the actual like sales and streams.
I mean, I do
Um,
believe that though because of payola. Like, I mean, that's a real thing. Like, people do take money to get spins and to do certain stuff. Like, even on videos, which I found, like, I mean, I believe it because I saw him on that new song that he got, Gooba. Like, I'm
mhm.
watching it, and he was using a tactic that I've seen um people like on the come up or underground do. Like, you'll buy views and you'll buy comments and stuff like that, but normally they're bots and they say the same thing. It's just different pictures. And so I went down the comments on that Gooba, and like literally every comment I saw was the same thing, the
The
same
same comment.
same comment, the same way, the same like spacing, all of that. Like it was
Yeah, it
crazy.
was like copy and paste.
Copy and paste, basically. And so, like, I believe that. I mean, you definitely can pay for things like that, like views, because I've seen it, and especially coming from him, I believe it. Justin Bieber was like, "Nah, she ain't do that though. He tried to take her for his ex."
Yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, he accused Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber, who had like a song. I haven't even heard that song, but it was at number one. It can't. He basically said they did some late submissions and was able to like pay with like he said like there was a record of it being paid with six different. He called I think Billboard and they told him like it was paid for with like six credit cards and he goes through a whole like thing. So I think there is some truth to that. But like I said, he sparked beef with a lot of people. Hence the title Takashi 6ix9ine versus everybody. Snoop Dogg in particular, I feel like Snoop Dogg has been going the hardest on him. Um, he's super anti-rat or whatever, like called him like rat boy. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Red
that
Boy.
rat boy. He got that Snoop Dogg like delivery. That's that intonation in his voice. But he making Instagram videos talking about like you messing with the wrong one. I got time today, cuz like stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like leave the dog alone. He's saying stuff like that. Like Snoop Dogg is he got a lot of that pimp speech.
He do that pimp
But
rap.
right. And so he basically saying like like because like 6ix9ine he released some videos like I guess apparently some girls was like FaceTiming Snoop Dogg like trying to sleep with him and he was trying to incriminate Snoop Dogg for some stuff that he did I think a while back ago and I think his wife
Yeah.
has probably already forgiven him for that. But he just bringing up old stuff and it's like even if it is a long time ago and his wife has forgiven him for it, it's like nobody wants to like rehash that issue like because somebody else brought it up anyway. I guess it's super like low blow.
But that's what he about, man. That's the cloud demon. It's like, you're doing anything, and I don't know if people are just bored, so they looking for that type of entertainment. But it's clear to see like what he doing. It's almost like he reaching for anything, like any and everything that he could say, or that he
Yeah.
could use as a gimmick or whatever. He gonna use it. So it's like how he came out with the animated pictures of him as a rat eating cheese or whatnot like that.
Yeah.
So it's just that's
And it's
that's
like it's funny because like his strategy kind of worked like because
it
when
does.
you
It's a man great marketing scheme for sure.
yeah like if you can take what people are saying about you like oh you a rat he's a snitch and like embrace it and still have a fan base, then them calling you that is like and like yeah
Right,
I said I've already acknowledged that I am that, so why are you calling me what I'm calling myself?
right.
So it's
That's
like it's kind of low key like it's like a loophole he found that you can be negative and call him a snitch all you want, but like unless you got something other than you a snitch, then like he not like he talk gangster in his songs, but he be like I'm not a gangster, like so like saying oh you ain't about that life, you nigga, like he not yeah I'm not. So it's like nothing you say like can actually hurt him. It's like that what they say, some words are like something and something like glue. It bounce off me and stick to you.
mm-hmm.
That old kid thing.
Yeah,
It's like that. Like everything people say is like it's not really sticking to him because he already has like acknowledged it. Most of the time, is this is like a weird like incidents because most of the time it's like rappers beefing, and the rap code, the street code, like the rap code is the street code, and the street code is not no snitching. So like being called a snitch is like, no, I ain't no snitch. Like it's like it's
yeah,
like a it's like the ultimate insult. But to somebody
mm-hmm.
that's not a real like he rapping, but he ain't really about that street code. It's like, yeah, I snitched. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, you were saying?
right.
Um so he's beefing with everybody, like I said, including Snoop Dogg. Snoop got they kind of, like somebody a fan released this song I think what is it called? It's not called New Booty, but they say New Booty a lot in the song. So I just want
News
to call it
booty.
that. New Booty. If I can play, if I can play a little bit of, it, I might. But like, it's a song kind of talking about like you was in jail and you soft and like it sounds like he's talking to 6ix9ine, but that came out actually in 2019. I think before well before all this newfound beef came out. So, but it definitely fits like spot on subject matter wise. So, another do you want to keep? You got anything else you want to talk about that or say about that before we move to the next segment?
6ix9ine is trash.
Yeah, he is like even his like flow, like like it's like all always yelling like that whole thing is like and the thing is though that Gooba song or whatever it's like a like the beat is hard like the video was shot dope that's why I like if I'm being honest it was like
It
but
was,
like
yeah,
him
no, it was definitely like the way that they shot it and like the way that the camera was moving, like it was definitely a hard edit, hard
yeah
like, and I think that's what he does. Like he just surrounds like it's like doo doo, but it's in a good pamper. It's like sealed nice, and
a good pamper
it's
uh it's like in a Mercedes pamper
yeah.
um yeah like as much as I hate to but like the thing is as much as I hate to admit it the video is good like the but I think he's selling a vibe. He's not selling like real rap lyrics. He's just like he's selling like a some energy. Like, and I think a lot of people are doing that. Like a lot of people ain't really rapping with substance. It's just like I'm selling this energy. I'm selling this like this vibe in this video or in this song and this beat. But I'm not selling you any kind of substance or like you know what I'm saying. What's the rhetoric? I'm just well I am, but it's just like about some stupid stuff like
Uh,
you know Fifi and you know it's not really about much of anything.
are you dumb, stupid, or dumb?
That I feel like he that line like stuff, all those lines I feel like he wrote like oh, I'm assuming he wrote it. He might probably didn't write it honestly, but if he wrote it, I think whoever wrote it, they wrote it like knowing that's gonna be like oh that's line gonna get him right there. They're gonna be saying that one because in my mind I'll be thinking like I'll be saying that now like are you dumb, stupid, or dumb? Like because it was just like such a like emphasized little like bar, little moment right there in the video. It like the music stopped, kind of like it kind of dropped off a little bit. So like they emphasized it so much. I'm like, oh, now it's caught stuck in my head. So like they definitely got genius marketing, like his marketing team or whatever. But it like then since he's been out, I think I've heard that he's had to move like 3 times just because like people been spotting him. Like it was a girl spotted him like kind of just like in the backyard, like her deck like out through her window, out her back deck, she could see him like at his deck. He was like in a regular like kind of house, like a suburb or something. And after that video came out and went viral, he had to move. So I think he's had to move like 3 different times.
He probably gonna like forever have to do that. Like I think either that or something he's gonna get tired of it and he's gonna get caught up. But I feel like he gonna definitely have to keep moving because just the way he's antagonizing people, it's like you just building like enemies and like if you got enough enemies, then if something happens to you, then it's gonna be kind of hard to figure out where it actually came from.
Right. So whoever do it is like everybody got motive. So who like you know they might
Everybody,
get away with it.
right?
Um. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and move us on to our next topic. Let's just talk about Doja Cat. I yeah that say so. Um, there's Doja Cat. If you're not aware of who she is, he's not like completely. She's getting to where she's kind of like mainstream now because she had the song that Say So remix with Nicki Minaj. So she's working with artists that are like top, you know, top tier. But she kind of became famous. I think she's been doing music for a long time.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and they said I think she's signed to RCA and what is it? Kimosabi Records. Um, and so she's been doing music for a long time. She kind of went viral with that Moo song, um, where she's dressed up like a cow in a lot of it, and like got like fries in her nose and stuff.
Bitch,
Um, so it was kind of like a meme song. Like if a meme could be a song, that's what that was. Um, and it went viral, and like that got her music like platform popping. Like, so then after that, people will see, oh, she got other music. Let me see, and oh, she's actually making real songs. A lot of people are like not, you know, kind of like oh, feel like her music is corny or whatever. Like I'm kind of indifferent about it. Like, you know, some of it is cool. She rap, she kind of sing too. Um, so I don't know, but she recently has kind of come into some controversy because one there was a tweet, but I'll get to the tweet later. But I saw also there she was in this like alt right video chat. Did you see that?
Yeah,
And like they were just talking about a whole bunch of like off the wall stuff. I guess like with it being alt right, of course, it's very like racist, either undertones or maybe even overtones to what they're saying in that chat. But she's just in there like I think people got they she's on camera, but like they got their voices changed. Like, it sounds like they like all their voices like super deep, like like super like witness protection type voice changer.
yeah.
But it's clearly her. She's sitting there on the camera and she's saying like some like weird stuff. But it's almost like I don't know if she's trying to like troll them, but like I said,
Can you pull that up? Can you share that video?
uh the video of her like talking and stuff on the chat.
Yeah.
Let me see. Okay, can you see this?
Oh, I just lost a cigarette. Dude, ADD just DM'd me. Learned anything new today? And I said, yeah, I learned if you sunk a dunker, you can beat anybody. Hey, ADD, why didn't you want to know what I learned today, man? Why you have to focus in on the beautiful lady there? With another comment. I learned that we could have been anybody. Hey, ADD, you look Arabic, are you? Oh boy. I learned that we could have been an F buddy. What? ADD, has anybody ever told you that you look Arabic? Handle, you shut the fuck up.
On the he is smart.
Were you ever see that?
Yeah.
Um.
Edie.
So ADD something. But in that chat that we just showed, that same chat, I guess they did it's like incels. I need to look up the definition of an incel. I've heard that word before.
Yeah, I
But
heard it, but no, I don't. Not off the top
let
of
me
my
see.
head.
I'm looking up the definition right now. But in that chat, they were like it's alt right, so they like, a lot of like racist kind of. He heard the dude talking like, you look Arabic? Like I felt like that was going somewhere, but the video was cut off. But she's accused of basically. I'm gonna just sum this all up. She basically got some questionable stances when it comes to racial things. She also had a tweet that, and I'm just gonna paraphrase it because I couldn't find it. It might have gotten deleted, but like, it's basically like, being black. Like she basically said, being black is kind of like associated with depression, and that like it will almost her life would have more value if she was white. Like she definitely said like life would have more value if I was white. And I don't like. I feel like she's getting at something, but I'm not sure what exactly. Like, and so now she's like, cancel culture. She's being quote unquote canceled. And then I also saw a link that said that like the stuff was bogus. But I mean, she's in that chat on some weird stuff, on video, so you can't really deny that. But maybe the tweet, I think the tweet was real too. So I think it really, but she's not really like she's just kind of getting popping like that. Like I said, she just got that song with Nicki Minaj, the Say So remix. But other than that, I can't even really name another like hit like that I know of.
Yeah, the cow.
Yeah, like the mood thing, and then now you got Say So that's on the radio. Now that's a hit. I think it probably like yeah, it was number one. And she was even talking about like if she hit number one, she'll show her boobs or something like
Yeah,
that.
and she didn't do it.
Yeah, like she be on some crazy stuff, like some
Yeah,
weird like kind of freaky type stuff. Like I heard some of the stuff they was talking about in that alt right chat or whatever. And it's just like weird, like sexual, like racist. And she's mixed, so I don't know if she's one of those that identify more with one side of her mix than other ones or something. But
yeah. Seemed like she got a lot of self hate. Like, seemed like she is really like hating herself. I don't know. Because I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and I was saying about her not liking herself, and like I mean, I've come across people that have like those same feelings about themselves, and some of them have been like her shade, and then some have been like darker than you and I. Um,
yeah,
that don't like themselves, and a lot of that could be like they're in like the community of white people, and like all of their friends are white. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of makes them feel bad about themselves or whatnot like that because they're different from their friends. Um, then a lot of people can have like family members. You know, if one parent is white or whatnot, they can have family members that put them down constantly because they're um, mixed or whatnot like that. So people grow hating that because they hate themselves because of that. But, I mean, it's
Yeah, and like,
a lot of different variables that go into that.
what's her name? She was on Wild and Out, and they made her cry.
Iggy
Banks.
Azalea or
No,
Azalea
Azalea
Banks.
Banks.
Azalea
Yeah.
Banks, not Iggy Azalea.
She another one of those that like she has a lot of weird things to say about race and always
Yeah, she
like, I think it kind of came out on Wild and Out when she was like breaking down behind the scenes that like she's kind of like kind of self hate. She was talking about Nick Cannon having lupus and hoping that he die and stuff. Like she's kind
yeah,
of evil type stuff. I heard that like she does some like chicken feet type voodoo type stuff. Like she owns some odd stuff. But we're talking about Doja Cat though. And I'm seeing now that they're saying like that, like of course she was canceled largely by social media and Black Twitter, but then now they're saying like we are sorry Doja. Like it says, however, it soon became apparent that all those haters making the hashtag trend had jumped the gun. The original hashtag was like the Doja party is over. Upon closer examination, all those claims were just that, claims. In fact, none of the social media posts alleging she made those racist remarks actually contain any evidence that she actually did what she was being accused of. Once it became apparent that Twitter users had been responding in anger to a baseless rumor, on Sunday a new hashtag began trending, hashtag we are sorry Doja. While Doja Cat herself has not commented on the uproar, here's a sampling of how Twitter users have been reacting the quick cancellation and uncancellation on social media, and it goes on. But I don't know, like I mean, I don't know. Like I think she was just on some like maybe on some trolling type stuff, and in that chat, but it came off weird. But she does. I think it's like don't throw the baby out with the bathwater on this one because I think she do got some. I think she do got some like I said questionable stances about race, and I think that tweet was
yeah,
definitely real. I want to find that tweet so bad. I'm gonna
yeah.
try to
She
find it.
does.
What
She
I'm
does have questionable stance, like when it comes to race and when it comes to her feelings about her that side of her. So yeah, I wouldn't say she's out the water yet. I mean, I would just say like, and I wouldn't even say that it didn't go there in that chat. I just think that it wasn't recorded. I don't think that they got it because the black dude seemed like he was uncomfortable. He seemed like he was almost just there for her in a sense. Like,
yeah. Um, yeah, that tweet had to be deleted because it was definitely it should be like coming up the way I'm like searching and it's not.
of course,
But it was like I said, yeah, I
it's
think
gonna
it
be
got
deleted because she ain't trying to get if she didn't delete that tweet and people saw that and then that video came out, then that would just Sherlock Holmes of black Twitter would be all on that, So
But see, the thing is, I know somebody had to screenshot it like before it, because I saw it, like I saw it, and I wasn't on her Twitter page. I saw it. Hold on, no, and then she also got some like homophobic stuff, which a lot of people do. To be fair, like a lot of people were saying like faggot and stuff, like in the '90s and early 2000s, and still say it now. Um, so, but I guess we can talk about cancel culture now. So, like, what do you think about the fact that like nowadays people can basically go back 20 years, however long, and find something you said back then in context, take it out of context, and then get you in trouble in modern day? What do you think about that?
I hate that. I feel like okay, if it's something clear cut and I've been saying it since then up until now, I feel like you can hold me to it. But I feel like if I have said something in the past, but like the rest of my track record does not show me feeling in that same way, I feel like you should, accept the fact that I have changed because people do change like their mindset a lot of times,
Right.
especially as you mature and you grow. Like you get a different understanding of life and ways of life, and you appreciate life a little more in a different way. You hold it Yeah. So I feel like, okay, just don't hold me to the stuff that I was doing as a teenager when I'm, in my 40s and stuff like that, because I'm so far from there and I'm in a different mindset. Like, you can't
Right.
compare those two people. Like, yes, I was the same person, but definitely not.
Yeah, like it's everybody should grow. Everybody should be getting better as people, and you know what I'm saying. Like, so you never should be able to like go back and bring up something super old out of context, no less, and try to get me in trouble for it now. Like they did the same thing with Kevin Hart with the Oscars. They found him saying like if his son was gay, he would beat him over the head with a dollhouse or something like that. Like it's
Yeah,
obviously a joke. Obviously a joke. I mean, to some degree, he probably feels like that. He probably he basically said that like I would. He basically said I don't want my son to be gay.
right.
Which I mean, is that not
Which,
okay to
like,
say?
if we being blunt and if we are being realistic, who does want their child to be gay? Like, you know,
Right. Like who's like I hope this one is gay.
yeah. And even if you did like support that, like even still, why would you want that? Because of the scrutiny that they go through, and like what I'm saying, everything that people place upon them. Like some people get beat up and what I'm saying, like physically harmed because of that. So it's like
Yeah.
nobody really wants that. You know what I'm saying? And despite you being supportive or what or not supportive, I feel like nobody wants that life. You know what I'm saying, for their
But
child.
watch this though. I like what if somebody came with the argument using that same logic, like, well, I don't want my son, like, say I'm adopting, but I don't have really a choice for some reason as to what child it is. And I'm like, well, I don't want him to be black because black people, face so much oppression. So like, is it racist for them to be like, no, don't give me the black kid?
Yeah.
You said it is, you said it
Yeah.
is racist.
Yeah, it's prejudice for sure, because it's like, even though that is the same logic, it's different because it's like, okay, you could kind of show them a different lifestyle, and like you could kind of maybe even show the world different by adopting a black child. Like, what I'm saying, if I'm white and I adopt a black baby, it's like, okay, maybe the world will see things differently. Like, okay, well, we can't get along. Some It may change, may not change somebody, but it'll definitely put like a different image out there for people to see.
Right.
But
Um.
but on the other hand, though, I do believe that cancel culture is necessary. I feel like just the way people do it, like how um, I was saying people were so offensive when I meant to say offended earlier, but easily offended and very
Yeah.
sensitive. I feel like people that control cancel culture, I feel like those are those type of people, super sensitive, like easily offended type of people. So like, just like how they was like they had to say I'm sorry, like, oh my bad, Doja Cat, even though they didn't have no
Yeah.
evidence, whatnot. But I feel like it's necessary in the fact that, like, if somebody does go off the wall and just say some crazy stuff, then yeah, you should cancel they. You know what I'm saying? Just get rid of them. Show them that there are consequences to your actions.
Um. Yeah, and I think the same thing can be like talked about when it comes to like children with like disabilities. Like you don't want your child to have a disability or like any kind of like ailment at birth or deformity. And not wanting that is okay. Like it's a deformity.
Yeah.
It's not something that's natural. So you don't want your child to get cancer the same way. You don't want them to get
Right.
diseases. You don't want them to have deformities or like what I'm saying, birth defects and stuff like that. Um, um, Yeah, so like nobody wants their child to have birth defects or deformities at birth. Now you might deal with them and adapt to like that situation and that circumstance, but like nobody is like, man, I hope that I get a child with autism or, I mean, I would assume that's a weird thing to hope. So I'm assuming that nobody hopes that.
Yeah.
So like to say that to like express some kind of disdain for a condition or whatever, it's like I don't know. Going back to the whole cancel thing, I don't think you should be canceled for stuff, especially when like okay, so I'm gonna say I've said it already. I said faggot. So like faggot, the word F word, faggot. That was of course like a heavily used slang term of the '90s and probably before that when it was way more taboo and less accepted to be gay. Now that word like so back then it was like kind of normal. It was in a lot of music, still is, but a lot more back then. Nowadays, it's not as, you know, accepted as a word to refer to black people. It's more of a, I mean, gay people. It's more of a slur, you know, type of, slang word basically. And to go back to the '90s or to the early 2000s or whenever, when I said it, when it, you know, and when it was more accepted, and say like, you said this way back then, like answer for this now, apologize.
Right.
It's like, nigga, who are you? Like, get up, leave my page if you don't like what I'm saying. Like, why do you feel like it's your responsibility? And we the people kind of have the power when it comes to social media and all these celebrities and stuff like that. But I mean, you got to take it like in context. Like I said, back then, like when he said it, it was way more like of a thing that people were saying. Like people saying all kind of stuff back then, because the political correctness, like, you know, meter was way down way back then. You can say whatever. You can be openly like homophobic and like anything racist. Yeah, like it was way different. It's a whole different time. If we don't acknowledge that and treat people like right 2020 is the standard by which everything should be judged, then every slave owner family need to be like reprimanded. Every like, if we going back, how far we want to go back? You want to go way back?
Right.
Like, you
I
know,
think they ain't
so
willing to do that. I think it's just only for certain causes and certain people. You know, like I feel if we were to go back that far, it's like now we nitpicking almost in a sense to them. Because I hear a lot of that. Slavery was so many amount of years ago. Get over it.
mhm.
Talk. But I mean, how could you get over something that's history? Like that's in y'all history books, you know.
Right.
Like,
Like, yeah, we did it. So what? Like, and it was a long time ago.
right,
Like,
and so,
nigga, ain't no and. Um. So I mean, we've been going for a while. Like, even when I edit this down, it's gonna be like 20 minutes. Like the first like 15 minutes or so, we was like just talking like regular. So I'm gonna edit that out. So we had basically 2 hours minus like 15, 20 minutes of just talking in the beginning and those freezes and stuff. So we probably like really at realistically like an hour and hour 40 hour and 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Um, but I do want to play one more. I think we're gonna do one more round of Would You Rather. I'm just finding another one, but I do want to talk about like people that say that the podcast is too long. I'm about to get on y'all head real quick. um,
yeah,
because well, hold on, let me get my display name up here because it's Blue Skittles. It's not. You notice that this week it's not Deron Shields. Um, it's just been several people talking and saying like, I would listen, but it's just so long. This 2 hours is just too long for something to listen to or watch on YouTube or whatever. I want to talk to y'all real quick. Just watch like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We upload clips, like we upload bite-sized pieces specifically for the people that feel like hour and a half, 2 hours is too long. So you can watch those little clips and get an idea of the energy of the episode, what we think about certain topics. We make those for y'all because I know that it's a long time. I listen to podcasts, so I'm not tripping about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I listen to long podcasts. I just don't watch them all at the same time. And that's all I'm saying for y'all to do is just break it up. Like everybody, just break it up. It's not very complicated. Two, another point. Now for 2 weeks, episode 2 and episode 3, I've put in a little bonus little like Cash App offer that if you send us your Cash App name and a certain word that I say in the episodes, I'll send you $20. That's all you had to do is comment on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you see it and your Cash App name and a certain word, and I'll send you $20. And nobody has even seen that enough to even do it. Like, and I put it like kind of in the middle, like, I don't know. I don't want to go too hard, but hey, this is our podcast. So I want to weed out them fake followers, them fake subscribers. And listen, I'm not trying to be too hard because we do need y'all support. But like I said, break it up. We give you clips and you can just manually just watch 10 minutes here, pick up where you left off, watch 15 minutes, whatever. and see what we got to say. We got some really good content. I feel like, and it's positive. It's not ignorant and ghetto. It's very. I think it's very insightful. I think the episodes of me and you, like, we really go like super deep into like a lot of like racial stuff, and it's like good conversation that everybody I feel like should be having. It's not like we just talking about some, stuff that can, is irrelevant. We talking about relevant like racial issues and
Thought
all from
provoking
that.
things.
You said what?
I said thought provoking.
Right, and then we go all the way. We give and trying to give y'all, every have something for everybody though. Like we talk about that racial stuff, woke stuff, and then we also go to Takashi 6ix9ine and rap beefs, and all that kind of stuff. So we trying to give y'all some variety. Show y'all that we got a good head on our shoulders, but we also are relatable and funny and stuff like that. So just watch the clips or watch it in like little bite-sized parts. We do want y'all support. But you know what I'm saying? Like, subscribe, comment, engage with us. But like I think from here on out, I'm not gonna sell as much. I'm not gonna be like, make sure you hit that subscribe. I'm not gonna do that as much just because I want the organic following. I don't want well, I guess you pressure me into it. I want the real, like, I'm a podcast fan.
Yeah.
I like y'all specific podcast. I'm subscribing because I want to, not because you asked me to. I want that more than I did it because he said to do it. Because then what that's going to equate to is you subscribing but never watching any of our content. So we'll have a ton of subscribers, but our watch times will be super low. Like that right now, the average watch time is only like 11 minutes. And we doing 2-hour shows. Like people are not watching the larger majority of the content. And I get it. Like it's not everybody's cup of tea, but we want those people whose cup of tea it is to find this and subscribe and actually watch our content. We actually go through a lot of jump through a lot of hoops to like make this happen. My internet is trash. My computer is 12 years old plus, and I still make it happen because I actually want to do this mainly for us. Like I think these are conversations that we would have anyway, but I think that it's insightful enough and intelligent enough that somebody else might benefit from it or like get a laugh out of it or whatever. Because we go all the way. I think we have a pretty good variety of the content that we talk about, the topics that we talk about, some from serious to funny, facts, opinions, last facts and opinions. That's our whole thing. So, like I said, I want y'all to support, but I'm like I said, 2 weeks in a row I offered $20. Nobody even capitalized on it. Now the third episode, I'm not. I'll say 1 week. Still nobody has, and now that's over with. That's like that whole deal is expired now, because the next episode is out now. So I inspire or I encourage y'all to go watch the third episode. Watch the third episode because that offer is still going to be going on for a little while longer. So it's somewhere in there. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but watch it. You say what?
No, I'm telling them to watch that thing.
Yeah, and you ain't got to watch it all the way through in one sitting, but like try to consume all of it at some point. We cranking out these boys every week. So if you only watching 10 minutes of the first episode and 5 minutes of the third episode, like you missing a whole lot of stuff that we talked about. What I mean? So like maybe hopefully we can inspire some brand new podcast fans, some people that actually like to listen to podcasts through this. But I also want to get those people that already are into podcasts like myself. So yeah, I need to get that out of my chest because we get feedback like that, like, oh, this is too long. Like I think people just want an excuse not to listen. So that excuse is I'm not going. That's not going to fly for me personally. So just watch it in whatever increments that you feel fit or feel comfortable with, and watch the clips. Do hashtag STEM clips, and all those are like 5-6 minutes clips of us talking. Some of them are a little bit longer than that, no more than like 10 minutes, usually, and it's like a specific topic or whatever. Watch those. Watch our gaming videos if you're not into the whole podcast thing. Like
Right.
we giving all kinds of content low key. Like we doing a lot of work low key.
Yeah. So just subscribe. Shit, I feel like eventually you're gonna find something that we present that you find entertaining and that you find interesting. Whether it be like the podcast. I mean, I know a lot of people are not into podcasts, and you have to be really into podcasts to sit there and listen to it. So I mean, I get that. I understand that. I wish people would listen more. I feel like with over time, our popularity is going to grow. People are going to like chime in a lot more, even those that, because some people are just followers. Like just to be real,
Yeah.
like a lot of people will gravitate towards something once a good amount of people gravitate towards it. So that's just the way of the world. That's kind of how people are. You know what I'm saying? So, but I see it getting big. I see it growing. And like I said, if this is not what you into right now, we got the game and we got plenty of other things coming. And like what I'm saying, ideas are brewing every day steadily between us, the two of us. So I
Right.
feel like it's much more to come, and I feel like all of that is going it's gonna come back full circle, and it's gonna flourish.
Yeah, we have grown a decent amount, just like in the 4 weeks now that we've been doing this, and so we do definitely appreciate the support. Regardless, but it's way more effective and beneficial to us if you're like subscribing and all that stuff and like actually consuming the content, because all those stats are tracked through YouTube and through whatever audio like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those plays and those streams are tracked. So once we get enough streams and enough subscribers and people actually putting eyes on our content and listening to our content, advertisers can see those tracking numbers, those stream numbers, all that, and they'll be like, "Well, everybody's going over there to watch their podcast. Let's put our ad on their podcast. Have them say something about our business because people are going over there." That's the whole business. That's the whole game right there, like advertising. So the more y'all actually support and watch, like literally go and watch the episodes and listen to the episodes, the more you are gonna help us get better at this and get money in the budget to get better guests and stuff like that. Everybody so far, and shout out to everybody that's been
Pay for them boys.
right. And shout out to everybody that's been a guest so far, to the part of the fam jam, everybody that was able to make it. Larome, Tommy, and we got 2 episodes solo. But all them people have been people we already know, whether it's family or just people from high school, whatever. But we might be able to interview some people. Not that it's an interview show, but I mean, we'll have some people on that are just like, they're not just like local people. They might be some kind of celebrity, maybe B-list celebrity, whatever. And if we got a budget, we might be able to do those things and all that. So definitely consider supporting Cash App, $ the Stimulus Podcast. We sit on here talk for 2 hours, to give content, and we cut this up into clips just for mainly for y'all, for the people that have a shorter attention span or just like prefer to watch something a little shorter. We doing a lot of work behind the scenes for everybody else. And I just wanted to make sure that people got the right idea about how to support and what actually kind of quantifies support in this context. So we thank y'all for all y'all support. This has been episode 4 of the Stimulus Podcast. We're getting better every episode, I believe. I feel like we talk about a lot of important stuff. So tell somebody about it. Share it if you see it on Facebook or YouTube. Comment. Tell us what we doing right, doing wrong. Right. Tell your mammy, your pappy, tell your whatever, twice removed.
Pastor,
All them,
your
them,
baby mama, your side girl.
all them, the side ones, the sides, the all of them, side dish,
On them.
right? Pookie them, man them.
Man,
Tell
them, yeah.
tell man. It's funny because everybody got a man. Tell man them. Tell little fat. Tell fat.
Tell tree.
The double names is the one like man, fat, little pop. Tell all them, right? All them. Tell everybody about it. Tell. I mean, it's sometimes somebody we end up cussing on here, but it's not we're not super vulgar or nothing like that. So you can listen to it. You can listen to it. Most people can listen to it. Most like young adults, whatever. And above. So it's for everybody. We try to have, we talk about relevant things, not just young people stuff or whatever you might think that is. We talking about the coronavirus and everything. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Yeah, and we black. You know what I'm saying? If y'all disagree with me, yeah, if y'all disagree with me and you feel like you should support black business regardless of whatever they're doing, then follow and then keep that same energy and support us and really support and watch the content. And if you don't agree with, or if you do agree with me, then do it like I said and because I feel like we got quality content.
That's what I was
Support
just getting ready
quality.
to say. Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that same thing. I'm like, shoot, this is one of the ones that you was talking about potential wise, has the potential to, you know what I'm saying, be something great. So
Right.
like support us because we black, and then support us because we black and we on the right track, and we got a head of steam. So like get on that boy now or get on it later, but get on it because
Right. And,
eventually it's gonna be the inevitable.
right. And if you're watching on YouTube or or on YouTube, it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It's saying subscribe to us, the Stimulus Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. What else? Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We pretty much everywhere that you
We
can be
everywhere.
as far as like a social media entity. So like, we trying to put our content everywhere. We got the gaming content, all that stuff. Like I said, we doing a lot. So just go ahead and follow and actually check it out. Like let your kids watch the gaming video. Well, maybe because the chat, I don't know, it'd be
Yeah,
recording the microphone.
the chat be going crazy, yo.
So I don't know, maybe not that, but you know what I'm saying. It's for most
You
people,
sit down and watch the gaming channel.
right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. We get down on the games too, so go
We
ahead and
have
watch
games
that.
for kids though, kids friendly too though.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, all that being said, this has been the fourth installment of the Stimulus Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back again soon, and we're getting better every time, man. And we definitely appreciate your support, regardless of the means. But we definitely prefer, like I said, the full on support. But we appreciate it regardless. Thank you for tuning in, and yeah, we got this boy.